In today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single Mario design. So for the rules, as long as it's a mainline Mario game, it counts. And without further ado, let's get started. For our first design, we have the original Mario Bros. Design. And it's a classic with Mario's tan skin and plumber outfit. But with the old designs come a lot of things that just don't really appear in the modern era and feel kind of weird, like Mario's brown pants. But this could be mostly due to a hardware issue of the NES. But still, this design, although not being the first Mario design, really set the blueprint for the rest of the designs in this video. And for that, it'll get C tier on my list. Next up is Super Mario Bros. 2, and this Mario design is cool because it contains the iconic Mario colors, which is really nice, but the saturation of this design was cranked up to 11, as Mario looks really tan and really blue, and the blue outline just really doesn't do it any favors, and it kinda makes my eyes hurt. But unlike the previous design, I really like how you can see both of Mario's eyes, as it really gives off the cute vibe and really plays into who Mario is as a person. And while this design is pretty flawed, I think it's pretty good, especially for a game that shouldn't even have Mario in it. Overall, pretty nice and definitely deserving B tier on my list. Next up is Mario Bros. 3, and right off the bat this is a definite improvement from Mario Bros. 2, as the colors look crisp, clean, and the design is pretty simplistic. Although a weird part of this design is the black replacing the blue, but I actually think it works out pretty good for this game, as it doesn't really mess with the outline like the blue did for Mario Bros. 2. And what I forgot to mention is the pose in these two games are a lot better than the pose in the first game, as in the first one it really looks like he's lanky and he's slouching, and I just think it looks really dumb. But overall, I'd have to give the edge to 2 in posing, but this is still a really nice design and definitely worthy of being the first A tier on our list. We now move to the Game Boy for Mario Land, and yes, this strange assortment of pixels is actually Mario. Now I can't really fault this game too much as it was on the Game Boy, which was very underpowered, but I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, it kinda looks cool, I guess. I mean, I actually really like Mario Land. I had it when I was a kid and it was really fun. But, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, this game really does have heart. Yeah, it's going on D tier. Let's just go to the next entry. Next, we have reached the SNES, and with that comes greatness with Super Mario World's design, as this has everything that will become standard for Mario's design. All his colors look right, his face displays 2 eyes, his cap displays gold at the top, and his shoes are just perfect. I really have no complaints with his design, even the mini Mario looks good, and it's just really utter greatness, and a hallmark design for Mario history, that really helped tell the difference between the NES and the SNES, and displayed the amazing game that you're about to experience. It also showed Mario's whimsical nature, and truly deserves to be the first S tier on our list. Now moving back to the Game Boy, we have Mario Land 2, and there's some big similarities with this sprite and the Mario World sprite, but there are some notable differences, mainly being the small Mario sprite, which I think differs entirely from the World sprite, and I really like it, as it makes Mario look like a little goober, but I will admit that the original sprite is better, and I will say the colors are a little bit lackluster, seeing as it is in black and white. Just don't ask how I got this gameplay. Overall, this design is pretty similar to Mario World, and it's just going to go a tier lower in A tier. Definitely better than its predecessor Mario Land, I'll tell you that much. Next up, we move to the N64 for Mario 64. And just like Mario World, I think this design is foundational for 3D Marios in the future. As for its time, I believe this model was a near perfect translation from 2D to 3D, and definitely deserves the flowers for that. But looking at a more high quality version on the box, you can really see some of the flaws that exist. In this era of Mario, as we see from other N64 games like Mario Party and Mario Kart, Mario has a sort of plasticky toy style, and I think it's an interesting choice, and it works sometimes more than others, but this is mostly due to preference, and ultimately, inside the actual game, it's pretty hard to see this style. But I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room, the whole reason you clicked on this video, and the first time it's displayed, the duality of Mario's hair. In most of Mario's appearances since Mario 64, Mario has been shown with 2 hair colors, brown on the top of his head and black on his eyebrows and mustache, which begs the question, what is Mario's real hair color? For starters, it would be genetically hard for Mario to have black hair, or at least that's what Google told me, but most of the time when dyeing hair, people often only dye the hair on the top of their head as it is the most substantial, but these two things really can't both be true. But Mario always wears a hat on his head, so maybe he dyes everything but the top of his head. then again, I also heard that hair on the top of your head and hair on the rest of your body can be different colors. And at this point, I'm really confused. So guys, tell me what you think in the comments below, as I really want to know what you guys think and I look forward to it. Where was I? Oh yeah! The Mario 64 design is an amazing design and is a series standard from what Mario looks like, and it is definitely deserving of S tier on my list. Next up, we have Mario Sunshine, and this is another S tier, which does make this the third in a row, but I can't explain. During this era of gaming, innovation was everywhere. Just look at the jump from the N64 to GameCube and compare it to the jump from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. The difference is clear, and is why these last few designs are ranked so highly, as innovation bred amazing things for the Mario franchise, and especially for Mario Sunshine, as this design is very close to our current day Mario. I especially really like the promotional renders for this game, as it makes Mario look really cool. This design for Mario is more tall than he is round, and I think it works for this game, although I do prefer Mario to have sleeves as it really suits Mario's color palette, and I will say Mario does look a little cursed in this game without FLUDD, but overall, a great design worthy of S tier on my list. Next, we have New Super Mario Bros. DS, and this is the first of the new standard Mario design. And this is pretty regular. You look at this and you just think Mario. This model is especially similar to Mario's Double Dash model. I mean, just look at the two. The Double Dash model is a little bit more HD in some areas and a little bit more tan, but overall very similar. Not much to say, but not in a bad way. It's just so similar to Mario's Double Dash model. It's great, but it's only going to get B tier on my list. Moving back to home console, we have Mario Galaxy, and once again very similar to the previous model, but let me state that it isn't a bad thing, and I actually think this is the perfected version, as the Wii allowed Nintendo to put a lot more detail into the design, giving 3D form to Mario's facial features, adding more detail to Mario's overalls, smoothing out Mario's clothes, defining Mario's fingers, and defining Mario's facial structure. This model truly works in refining all the things good about the previous models, kinda like what Galaxy does to the Mario franchise, and I really like the glow effect given to Mario in some promotional art, so while some can't call it peak as it doesn't revolutionize the design, I will definitely be giving it the bottom of S tier on my list. Next up, we have New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and once again very similar to its predecessor, but it's actually lower definition than the Galaxy model, with Mario's eyes, brows, and mouth becoming textures instead of modeled onto Mario. But my main issue with this model is that nose. I mean, come on! They already had perfection with Mario Galaxy. Why would they change his perfect bulbous nose? And some people tell me this is peak Mario. How can it be peak with a nose like that? Anyways, this model is really just a more lanky and less detailed version of the Mario model in Mario Galaxy, with a bad nose, and so this can't get any higher than B tier on my list. Next up, we have the New Super Mario Bros. 2 model, and this is actually the most interesting model in a while since it's on the 3DS, so it's HD but still very underpowered. So when looking at this model in game, it actually looks pretty good, but take a look at what it looks like outside the game. Shout out to modelresource.com for the following models. For starters, Mario's proportions are way out of whack, with Mini Mario looking like Boom Boom. Another thing, once again, features like his eyebrows and eyes are textured, but his mustache isn't, which is definitely an interesting choice. To add to this, Mario's facial structure is oddly polygonal, which is weird because his boots are oddly smooth. Another thing, Mario appears to be a little bit bigger in the stomach department, which is definitely a change we're going to be seeing more in the series. Ultimately, while this model is very interesting, it's really not interesting in a good way, and it is more unique than the past couple models, but it does fail to really do anything good when you look at it through a microscope. So unfortunately, this model will be getting a D tier on my list. Next up, we have, wait, quick! Guess which of these promotional arts is from Wii U and not Wii? And the answer is the one on the left, so if you did that, congratulations. But you can really see the differences as it's a little bit more HD than the one on the right, which actually perfectly describes this model, as it is mostly just a higher definition version of the model that's from the Wii. But I will say, thankfully, they have fixed his nose, which is much appreciated. But, just like this game, there's really not much to say. So I really could have just copy and pasted the Wii's model script, but I'm really not that lazy. Anyway, this is getting a B tier on my list. Next up is Mario Land, and no, I definitely didn't forget about this game, and this is definitely the right timeline order for Mario games. Don't ask any more questions, okay? But in all seriousness, that was the most interesting thing to talk about for this game. Well, besides this game starting the trend for Mario losing his hat when he turns small, but anyways, this model is literally the exact same model from New Super Mario Bros. U. But then again, this game came out first, so really I should be docking points from New Super Mario Bros. U. But next up, we have Super Mario 3D World, and we finally got a unique model, and it looks incredible. This being a relatively new game, the model is finally fully realized, with Mario's mouth, eyes, and eyebrows being fully modeled into the design, with the only other model so far to do it being the one from Mario Galaxy. But I think it sets itself apart from the Galaxy model in a lot of ways, as Mario is a lot more tan in this game, and the model overall is very glossy, and I think it looks incredible. Unlike the Mario Galaxy model, the 3D World model has texture seen on Mario's overalls, gloves, and his hat, with Mario being a lot more lanky in this game. Overall, this model is amazing, and while I do prefer Mario's look in the Galaxy series for its pudgy and non-tanned look, I also enjoyed this design a lot, and so it's definitely a great model worthy of A tier on my list. Next up, we have Mario Odyssey, and this model is pretty good. Off the bat, this model is a lot more saturated than the previous models, which isn't surprising as Mario Odyssey feels a lot more cartoony than any other Mario game, and cartoons are known for their high saturation. But this model is a big leap from the previous model in terms of detailing, as Mario's overalls are fully modeled and the textures are amazing. This model is especially good on Mario's buttons and shoes, looking glossy as heck. Mario's model is also a lot shorter than many other Mario designs, and Mario's proportions are a bit off, but this model is very unique compared to not only the past couple models, but really the whole franchise. And so while not being my favorite, I have to give it credit for being detailed and bold, so it will definitely be going at the top of A tier on my list. For the last design in today's video, we have Mario Wonder. And this model is amazing and maybe my favorite model during gameplay, but just looking at it outside of gameplay, it looks a little weird. But in game, this model is fantastic, as although it's less detailed than the Mario Odyssey model, it really makes up for it with all the personality that this model portrays. And I know everybody says that about this game, but it's true, as this is the first model with different heads to fit each expression Mario is trying to display, which is amazing, as this Mario model is just so cute. And once again, Mario has that glossy look that he has in 3D World and Mario Odyssey, and it looks sick. I really like the future of Mario's design, as Nintendo is changing it up a lot from the past. And for that, this design is truly special, and as we've seen from the Nintendo Switch 2, this design idea is becoming a staple for the future, as seen in Mario Kart World, which shows just how impactful this design is, and as such will be topping the charts with an S tier on my list. Alright, and that's my list, so thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I know this one took a little bit longer than I thought. I mean, Mario Kart 9 turned into Mario Kart World while I was making this video, so I had to change the script a little bit, but I'm really sorry it took so long. I've gotten a little bit behind on YouTube, let's say, but hopefully in the future, I'll become a lot more consistent, and I really hope this tier list is a lot less controversial than the last one, as it was pretty wild, let's just say. But, that's all I really have to say. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Alright, peace.